A single lie destroyed a republic. My name is Jason Collings and I write the Alaricvontrelowmysteries. They're set in the Weimar era of Germany from late 1918 at the end of the First World War through to the rise of the Nazis in early 1933. And a lie that was told at the beginning of that period fundamentally undermined the stability of that democratic government and led to the death of the first modern democracy to be utterly destroyed. What happened was at the end of the First World War, the highly martial, militaristic, Prussian based German government that was dominated by the army and been effectively ruled by the army high command for most of the period of the war couldn't handle the fact that they had lost. And they had lost. Anybody who tells you different has a big agenda. They had lost comprehensively on the battlefield. They'd managed to defeat the Russians, but unrestricted submarine warfare in 1917 had brought the United States into the war, and they were already at a standstill fighting the British and the French. Fundamentally, it was all over. And the last throw of the dice in early 1918, what was known as the Spring Offensive, they used up all of the forces that they had managed to transfer across from the Eastern Front with the Russians dropping out of the war. After that, it was all going one way. They were being pushed back and back and back, and what was known as the 100 Days during the late summer and autumn of 1918 led to basically the collapse of the German armies. But although the generals recognized this, and it was General Ludendorff who was one of the two ruling generals of both the army and effectively Germany at that time, it was him who was desperately begging in October 1918 for an armistice. Once it had come about, once they had it, they couldn't bear the idea of admitting it. And so they effectively said, you need to deal with it, to the civilian government. They passed the buck. They let someone else take the blame. And they created a lie, what became known as the stab in the back myth, that the army had never really lost. They'd been stabbed in the back by forces at home, socialists, Jews, communists, and people who fundamentally were un-German. And they blamed these traitors for the defeat. And they said, if only we had carried on fighting, we would have won. We were almost there. It was a total lie. And this lie became so prevalent, so believed, it became the basis of entire political movements, not least the Nazis. And the people who were responsible became known as the November Criminals, a name that I took as a title for my second book. The truth, of course, was perfectly simple. Germany was never going to win that war. No matter how good their army was, they couldn't fight the Russians, the British, the French, and ultimately as well the Americans, and hope to win. But reality and what someone believes are very different things. And so out of that lie came a cancer that ate away at the heart of the republic that came afterwards, and ultimately was a significant contributing factor in leading to the Weimar Republic's downfall. Thanks very much. If you enjoy this content, please subscribe for more.